So Jesse Willett here, founder of Lead Magic. Wanted to just quickly introduce myself. So I was a sales rep, working as a Fortune 50 seller. Had a career change pre-COVID, or like right around the time COVID was happening, where I was fired from the big SaaS world of enterprise software, and could have gone back, had plenty of offers to go back. Anybody will give you $1 million quota and tell you got to go hit it. So that wasn't hard to do, but knew that wasn't the path for me. So knew that I really wanted to build a SaaS company, but I couldn't do it right out of the gate because I still needed to keep the cash flow coming in, right? Everybody knows, the further you get into your career, that sort of stuff happens. You need to kind of keep your cash flow going for your family or whatnot. And then as that changed, basically coming in through there, I decided to start building the SaaS product while I got my agency up. So when I got to about a little over $1 million ARR, I was like, all right, I'm going to shut the agency down. I don't even want to do this anymore. I was doing a lot of cold emails. I was, using a lot of the tools people are probably using on the call and, building my own stuff. And then I said, all right, I'm going to just do email validation. Email validation, it costs like what? 0.00000, like there's a lot of zeros there, right? That's like the market for it. And, you usually do it in API calls, right? And also started another group on WhatsApp called the SaaS Yacht Club, which is a sort of a lot of growth hackers are in there and whatnot. It's a lot of fun. But basically what we did was we started out email validation, and I really didn't have much of a UI. I didn't have any developers. Started up my own leisure and said, I'm going to be pulling away all these clients that are paying me a lot of money. I was charging a lot. I wasn't charging like 3 to 5K. I was charging more, 5 to 15 to 20 to 30 a month, like bigger, retainers. And obviously those are challenging to keep, but, that's what we did. We took a lot of money up front and we tried to deliver the best results. And then as we did it more and more, I realized, hey, this isn't what I wanted to do. So I didn't have a lot of employees. I didn't do that. I just decided to pivot towards SaaS. So I started building on low code, no code platforms and doing a lot of copy and pasting on ChatGPT, and then realized, hey, this is better than that. I got to scale it up faster. So then, 2 years later, we're over 1,500 customers and we've got pretty good, business is growing. Still a very small team. We only have, I have 3 contract software engineers. 2 of them I just hired, so we got to like 1,500 customers without that, and then without 3, right? We had 1, me and another person, and we're growing pretty fast actually. And we've been fortunate to be part of the GTM engineering movement. There's a lot of good there. There's a lot of people that are trying to disrupt some stuff, so I think that's kind of a good sign. But that's kind of like where we're at. So. I was going to show today just like how I would build like an agency portal. If I didn't have one, I was going to build one live here. So what I'll do is I'll pause there, see if you have any questions on the SciMate side or the audience. And if not, I'll go right into the building part.
Let me check the chat really quick, but I believe there's no question at the moment. So you're free to take it away.
Perfect. Yeah. So, all right. So SciMate, you guys do a lot of like, it's like cold. You guys are mainly doing a lot of cold email for customers, right?
Yeah. Not just us, but I think a lot of the attendees here are also agency owners that are doing the same thing too.
All right. Perfect. All right. So, what I'm going to do today is sort of I'm going to build, and how long do I have just for time? Just time check. It's 12:40 now, so I have about what, like 30 minutes?
Yeah. Feel free to kind of go over time a little bit. Can we
Okay.
start?
So basically, what I want to do today is I want to assume that SciMate is like building. They want to build sort of the onboarding, maybe a lead magnet or something like that, right? So they want to. So I'll show you how I would use AI to build that, and build you guys a lead magnet for generating customers. So let's just start it out here. So basically, this is a scary screen if you've never seen it before, but this is where you start your day if you're a developer. You usually, even in the daytime, you keep it in dark mode just for the hell of it here. But so let's just basically start here. And, for an agency that sends cold emails, let's say we didn't really know what to build, right? We want to build, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the chat. I want to build an agency lead magnet for SciMate, which helps clients with cold email and lead generation. So use their site or give the details back or options for a lead magnet where it is at the source of the problem. Okay. So then basically what I'm trying to do is just get a sense of, like, let's just say I didn't even really know what I wanted to build, but, then we'll do that. So it's going to go out. It's going to go grab some of the stuff here. So here's a couple of good audits, right? So website to ICP. So this could be a good one. Lead list health checker. So we could see the domain health, the catch-all health, all of that. So that's not a bad one either. Cold email deliverability audit. That's not a bad one either. So spam score checker. Okay, these are all pretty solid. So why don't you give me which one you would like you'd want to build the most, and then we'll build it in code. And by the way, we're building this in code. This isn't like I'm hiring a developer. This is like we're going to build it in code right now, right? So which one do you think might sort of help you the most? Like that would be the closest to your customers or whatever, right?
Yeah. I think the most valuable one would be some sort of like cold email audit, but I know not everybody's running cold email, so maybe the one that's most relevant is the first option, like some sort of website to ICP.
Okay.
Yeah.
So website to ICP, all right, perfect. Let's do let's do that. Let's do the website. So website to, so you're basically like, how about we kind of combine them both? Why don't we do one that allows us to basically, what we're going to do is let's do one where we have like a risk score. Basically, like we'll look at the ICP and we'll kind of figure out like, are you saying like identify your ICP, or are you saying more like
Sorry,
figure out?
sorry, Jesse, scratch that. I am getting a lot of heat in the comments saying they want to see option 4 instead. So can we switch to
Okay.
that?
Competitor prospecting, reverse
Yeah.
engineer. So okay, so you want to basically say, like, what specifically about this one did they want?
Let's see. Yeah. Emil, what do you think 4 is hot? Let's see.
So 4 would be the like a competitor prospecting. So this one would be interesting because you could do I'm just thinking about who we have on the call. Yeah. Okay, so we could do okay. Yeah, so the sources there. So what so competitor, you're saying like what are we live on LinkedIn?
We are live on YouTube. Yes.
Not LinkedIn, or are we
Not
on?
LinkedIn. Not LinkedIn. It's on YouTube. Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
I will. I'll pause on that one because like most of the data on that one would be on comments on on LinkedIn. So if we could just do one of the other ones because it'll be a little easier just for like, I don't want to go I don't want to go like at the throne there. So why don't we do like a combination of 1 and 2? Like you upload a list and then you basically get back, like which you know what I mean? Like we'll kind of go, does that sound good? Like you get back like the all right, we'll do that one. So let's see here. Now, all right. So first thing I'm going to do is here, I'll just start doing it. Basically, it might happen fast. Now, I'm not going to like, if there's questions, I'm sort of just going to kind of go at I'm just going to go for it just because I kind of want to just blast through it. But let's just okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plan it. I'm going to say build a upload form, which in 16, which takes a CSV and uploads it to a Neon database, and then it uh, uploads it to the field, to the schemas, and uses Drizzle and or and ShadCN components or upload UI. And let me just think here. So I'm going to basically just set up a quick, basically a quick database. And then, and the cool thing is if anybody doxes it, they'll be able to get it later. They'll probably have to go back and watch it. They won't be able to, but it's all good. I might have to switch around a little bit because there's some security things here you have to deal with. But upload UI, and it uses hers to get the data into a schema, and then it is a one landing page application which scans it for MX records. Okay, that's the URL, and we find the DNS, and then we go DNS Google. We will use DNS over HTTPS there. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm setting up a lead gen agency source plan. So this is a plan. So this is a good way to start using Cursor. Let's do, what is a CSV column? It contains full data CSV, but it picks the email domain out and uses it to check the MX, and it has full lead data out of that on the upload, and then the MX scan should use the should fetch the unique domain after the upload and run the DNS over API and come back with the user's response, or the responses to put into the table, which is below. And then I want to do one other thing here. We want to also add the favicon for each domain here and make it a compelling lead magnet where they will and use progress bars, etc. Okay, so now what we're doing, and you'll have to go through this video again in slow-mo, which would be funny if you actually waste your time doing that, but that's fine. So we're going to set up the database here. This is just the database, and then you're going to go here. We're going to do it's an MX scanner app, so we'll scan the DNS. So you're going to upload a CSV. Basically, it's the customer. They'll upload the CSV. We're just going to one-shot this thing. And what'll happen is it'll scan the CSV, it'll find out the email domains that you're emailing, and it'll allow you to choose like the ICP based off of that. As you know, like it's harder to get emails through security gateways, of course. So we've got the plans here. So this is the whole plan. This is our application that we're building, right? This would check out. Like if you had if you had a developer or whatever that would tell you this is exactly how you want to build it, right? So what we're going to do, and we're doing this on the fly. Like I wasn't prepped to do this. This was not like there's no, like we didn't talk about this, right? Did we?
We did not.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so I'm just doing like basically the the build out here. So we're gonna build this out. What's gonna happen is, and look, this could break. Like a lot of people say their app breaks. We kind of know what we're doing here. We've done a few of these, so we can figure out pretty quickly what's going to happen. And what's going to happen is now it's going to start to build it. It's going to build the app. It's going to build the uploader. It's going to build the routes and all of that, everything that it needs. So this is just how fast you can actually build today, right? Like it's impressive in terms of like what AI has done for software development. So like I said, when I started building software, I was like doing no code, low code, but now it's easy just to do the code. It's actually easier just to do the code most of the time. So we're basically giving it an app. What's going to happen is you're going to get an upload screen. It's up. We're building the whole code. This is the whole React application that you would want to build. And, even if you hired a developer, they couldn't even type fast enough to beat this process, right? We could have done work stream, meaning you can set up multiple agents here. So if you wanted to set up like one agent here running part of the code, one agent here, the other thing I'm going to do is get initialize, and then I'm going to do that. And you could set up like multiple work streams here. So if you're doing that, now it's going to put it all in here. Now I'm going to also add, yep. So that's what I want. Boom. And then it's going to do that. Okay. So the only reason I didn't do the competitor one, just because it's the best data is on, where it is. So I don't want to go through that right now with LI, but, yeah, so we've initialized the, repo. It's running. And I'll show you what you're going to get here. So you'll see the table start to populate here because it's setting it up. Like I'm talking right now. I could be easily distracted. Like I'm not typing any code, I'm not building any code at all. I'm just one shot of that across the bow there. And, we're waiting for it to populate here. But, based on where it is, we're going to see, okay, boom, my leads are there, my upload's there. So it's all there now. So now what I'm doing is I'm building the APIs to sort of route the data and then extract the domain names and also have the little logo show up. So basically the goal is to have it so it basically has, like where are you going to get basically where I think the concept is merging 1 and 2 together because of ICP and, we'll look at the deliverability part of it. So where would you get the best lift, right? It's obviously going to be inboxes that don't have a security gateway in front of them, like Proofpoint or Mimecast and some of those. Those are the harder ones to get email deliverability on. So we'll be able to scan that for that. So are you following what we're doing right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So what's happening now, it's building all the pages, we're building all of the code, it's running right now, this lead magnet's happening, everyone's kind of sitting in suspense here. I know I'm keeping you guys going, but just ignore we're building software the new way, right? So the prompt, what you saw that was pretty much a one prompt right there, right? You saw me, I'm not sitting here typing and coding, right?
Yeah.
It's running for me. So I'm just like, and so basically we're starting out with the results table. We're building that. We're building this lead magnet will convert to. I built one similar to this before, but I built every lead magnet, I think, for agencies. I built DMARC generator, email test, header analysis, Cloudflare email setup, reverse DNS, PTR lookup, subdomain lookup, blacklist checker, security header checker. I built every lead magnet possible for agencies that run a cold email. So right now it's just setting up the system and we're coding, right? Next, we're running this this is all built in React, so it's very standard. You could find easily a developer to support this after you got the MVP app, which is a much better way. You can also build it in Lovable or Bolt or whatever, but I think we'll add AI on top of it at the end of it, just to kind of make it a little bit more prescriptive. Basically, we'll have it analyze the data and then we'll have it look at the data and figure out who you should be emailing, how you should build a list with this data, because there's a strategy to building a list with the domain names, right? It's easier to get a reply from domains that are not hard to get delivery on. So you can kind of evaluate the customers that you're working with to see if it's a good fit or not. So where are we at here? Okay, so basically we've got the layout built, we've got all of the code sort of being built here, got the routes built, database is there, and we're close to launching the first section of the app here. So, okay, perfect. We're ready to launch. Okay, so our first app is here. Okay, now, let's see what we got. Let's put it on the big screen here. What do you think so far?
Great. I mean,
So
as a former software engineer, this would have taken me weeks to build. Let's just say
yeah.
that.
So we're gonna do a couple things before because I already know where it's gonna break if I go this route. This is the problem. I mean, I do this, it makes it look a little easy, but it's like this is pretty easy. It's getting easier. Now, this isn't even the cool part yet. We're not even at the cool like where this thing pops of like so what we got to try to figure out on a lead magnet, any good lead magnet, like I'll show you, a good lead magnet to me is it gives you enough to keep you to want to keep going. Like a good example of a lead magnet is this. Wait, New York Times. Did I do that right? Yeah, New York Times. So let me show you what a good lead magnet is for people, right? Like this is a good one, right? Watch, I'm like in here, I'm running to read. Oh wow, that's a good lead magnet, right? So that to me is a good lead magnet, right? So now we're going to do some games like that, some reindeer games like that. We're basically going to do a similar sort of test, but basically we built a scanner for MX records for running lead lists. So you can upload your lead list for here, and you can find out like which emails that because in all honesty, we run one of the biggest email validation tools out there today, Lead Magic. One of the first check we do on everything is this MX validator. So this is actually the first check of everything. So it really is a good list. If anything doesn't show up here, you're not going to get delivery on it. I guarantee. If your email provider does give you a bat or an email without an MX record, you won't get email. Now, I will tell you there is a database factor there. What you do want to do is you do want to look and see what the real domain is of that company because sometimes their website isn't their email address. As you know, there's a lot of companies that don't do one-to-one. But I will tell you if in your right before you send, it's always good to check this out and to check out if it's got a valid MX. That's a big problem if you don't. So that's what we're going to check, and that's what this thing does. And anybody can use it, anybody will see, and we're going to get into the lead part of it, but in a second. But we're just testing it a little bit here. I still haven't made anything else. Like I haven't typed anything else. I mean, you've been watching the screen, right?
Yeah, we have. Jesse, there's some comments in the chat about how you made the UI look so good. I said their prompt was missing, giving it the Outlette sizzle, but I'm not sure if you have any other comments there.
Yeah, there was nothing in it that I did. Nothing crazy really. Like there was a couple things I did. Look, I got to keep some of this stuff magic, but and it is a little magic here, but there was nothing in there that I did. If you watch this video, what I would do is go watch this video like 10 times and then, you'll figure out what I did. If you go, see, this is the problem with this thing. I knew I'd throw a few people off on this thing. So, I'm not going to tell you what I did, but there was some things I did. You weren't even watching probably when I did it. I kind of surprised everybody there. Now you might be paying attention. I don't know, but maybe you're not. But what we just did there is, okay, that file didn't have any domains. Let me grab one that does. Let's see, where is this? Okay, I think this one does. No, let me see. Yeah. Okay. So we got to make sure. Okay. Let me just find a file that has emails just because it's, by the way, I didn't, as you know, I didn't have any, there was no setup for this, as you know. So, let me just get one file that I can trust here. Nope. A lot of my files have no email addresses. Here we go. Okay. I got one here. Just check this one. Okay. Perfect. So this email, this does have, there we go. So now I've dropped it in. Okay. So this will probably be what you'll run into, and then you may give up. I don't know, but let's find out what happened here. I just basically pasted the error in, right? Like, so, it looks like it's yeah, stricter security requirements for modern browsers. So we probably ran into a little small browser issue, but it's okay. This is what happens when you start building software. You run into a lot of bugs, right? You run into these like little bugs, but if you keep with it, you'll be able to build.
Yeah, I think part of software development is just debugging in general. So this things is just
it is. Now, this one we did something risky because we So I'll tell you what we did on this one. We did something very risky on this one. I'll tell you what we did. We incorporated a database, right? So that actually a lot of people would say don't do that live. Now, I'm an idiot. I don't know why I would do that, but let's just take a chance and say we're going to get this done. Now, there could be a performance thing or two here, but basically I did do that. And then I just uploaded a list of like 9,000 there. But basically, go through the endpoint and make sure it works with the Google DNS MX, and it does it concurrently. We can handle, we want to test 50 concurrent at a time, and we want to leave a live progress bar with animations on it to check it. So then if I'm running that, it is running one of them here, like this is running it apparently, but we'll, so it is, so what's cool about this is like, it is populating the database, right? So those ones are in there, so I can tell why that one didn't work. But what we're going to do is we're going to fix it so it'll all work. Now that's the good thing. I kind of wanted to leave some suspense here. If you see me do this before, you'll see like it gets a little, you know, let me just find the right file here, because we didn't know coming in what you guys were going to I didn't know what you were going to choose. So I had no real clue on that. So, but it's going to fix that issue right now. And then, I'm just trying to find the right file too. Well, okay. So we'll just take email column here. Let's do this one. Don't convert. Okay, there we go. So this is this will be the CSV file here. So we'll just make a CSV. We'll just make a CSV with all of the records in it. So let's see, don't convert. There we go. So we'll just make one that has just email addresses. So get rid of the blanks. Boom. Okay. So it's still coding, by the way. Like we're still live here. We're just trying to get the other part of the bot. So like if I'm doing something, I'll be working on like six different projects out of, I'll show you some of the stuff that I've been building like myself, just like, that stuff that I just like to build. So I just added that here. This is an interesting one because it has pretty much all Gmail on it, but, so we got the test one here, close these save ones, and then we can go into here. So this one is, let's see. And just to keep so let's just try, it doesn't let me copy that one. So I got to reveal it in the Finder. There we go. And then revealed here, then we do it here. Okay, so there's another bug here. Let's just see. Okay, so it's failing on this. So I know where that, if you do this enough, you'll kind of know where these things fail. Fix the pop-up parse, make it greedy and work here locally, and make sure it displays our upload and parses out the domain and look at the test.csv to make sure it can handle a file like this. Okay, so what I'll do is, okay, so we built an API endpoint. So now we've got that. What I've also done on this is I've added what they call like something that communicates with the browser on the back end. So it basically is communicating with the browser basically. So that's kind of nice because what that does is that allows you to get like cool progress bars. So we still have an issue here with the handle upload part of it. Now it's going to fix that because I've told it to fix that. You probably aren't following totally here, but we fixed that issue here with a couple of things. So it's just like, there's a couple of things going on. It wasn't finding the email address. There was possible other names of it. There was a couple other things going on. It wasn't getting the domain name right. It wasn't splitting it. Because remember, when you're managing CSV files, it can be a little bit tricky, right? Like there's a lot of ways that, trust me, I deal with this on support stuff, but there's a lot of different ways that people can upload CSV files. So if you Okay, we just did it. Boom. All right. So now we've got pretty cool, right? So now we've built a lead magnet here. Now, we just processed 2000. So there's two MX records in here I would not send to. So let's see what those are, right? Let's do this. Now let's add one more feature here. So we can do add all of the common security gateways and add a column in the table, which says it's a security gateway, then add very clean filters and make sure it has easy to navigate, use components. Okay, so basically we've got in here, right? So what's cool is I even chose the domain. I even took like the domain logos here. So now if you think about it, you're actually giving away value, right? That's the biggest takeaway here is you're giving away value. And what you haven't done is spammed anybody. You haven't done it like you've created some value. You could send this to people and say, hey, would you like this? What's cool about it is like it's free, right? You can make this for free. This isn't like something you could. So this shows you all, like I just exported that list. This list did not. So hold on, let me show you the list, right? This is the list, this test CSV. This is all of the email addresses in there, right? So if you look at the email addresses, those are the MX records, and then that tells you how many. Okay, so then it sorts it for you and tells you how many that are there, and it lets you export CSV. Now, if you were doing this, right, if you wanted to basically identify for them, like who would be the better people to email, it would be the people that aren't on security gateways, right? So it would be like Proofpoint, Mimecast, sort of those types of people, right? And you see, I've got the SciMate stuff here, right? So what I would do here is pop-up block some of this stuff, right? So that would be where I would start to like, I probably wouldn't show all the records, or I'd kind of do it in a way where they had to provide their email address. Like that's sort of the best way to do it. And then, that would be the next step. So then to do that, I would need to basically build a new schema inside and then I would do, just grab the URL. So basically I would just take the schema and I would do, let's see. And by the way, that database, like even if somebody did, it's a temporary database. Let's say, so what I would do is I would do grab, add the user model for the sign up or email company, etc., but get it into the database. Okay, and then we're going to do that. So that's a stream going on. There's like another stream. I've already initialized it. And then if I wanted to, what I would do is would create a GitHub, right? So I would just create a GitHub repository that could do this. Now, I really don't know how to code. Like, really, like I'm not, like this wouldn't be easy. If I didn't have AI, this would be impossible. So I wouldn't even know what to do. I'm going to make the repository public too, so people can get the code if they want. So the best thing to do too is to add all the git ignore for the EMVs and make sure we don't share secrets across there or anything. So because a lot of email agencies would want this to be able to deploy it for free and iterate on it and use it. So I'm going to give it away for free on the call. And I'm going to give you guys the URL to go download all the code. You can actually just go take the code and put it in your own and change the name if you want, right? So let's go in and get the theme of SciMate and make it similar to our theme, improve it, and make sure we're on point for brand for this project. Use modern. Okay, so there we go. So now we're building it. We've got, there's a lot of streams going there. We're probably even confused. I'm glad if you're confused and good, because you can just go download the code probably later. But so basically what I've just done here is I've got a lead magnet now. Let's try it again. Boom, scans. Look at that. Now we've got filters, has no MX. So the ones you wouldn't want to email would be there. Oh, whoops, we missed a column. We didn't add the email address back into it. Make sure you do that. It's not just domains. It has to be the email address as well. So basically what I had to do is find, like, also I'm getting your theme here, and I'm fixing I'm going to get the branding to be more about you guys. So we're changing the brand. We're going to make it even better. MX validator. Let's clear it out here. So then we're going to do that. Okay, perfect. Now it's loaded up. And if I go here and if I run it again, there we go. Here's the file. Scan the MX records. Okay, perfect. Now you're seeing like see how I just rebooted it, but you see how I added the if you look here, you see what I added here? Look, I added this. So this shows the MX has no gateway, has gateway. So now that I've got this, you can then say, I want to look and see who has Google or Microsoft Defender, Proofpoint, So all of that's there. And then you can kind of see all of that and you can filter all that out. And then, but we're going to add the email. But see, this sorted it by leads. So let's allow the user to sort by leads emails or domain, or actually make it about the emails, but allow the reporting using recharts to have the right graphs in it. Okay, so we've now made it. Is this more of your business?
Yeah, it's purple and blue.
There you go, right? So we're getting closer to it now.
Closer, yeah.
Yeah, so we're now there. We're getting closer. Now we're here. So if I do this, look at that, scan 44 domains. I mean, by the way, this isn't no code, right? Like this is code that's shipping right now. Like I'm giving this code away here. You'll probably have to go through a form to get to it, but unfortunately that's just the way life is. Sorry. But, I like to do that. I like forums. I like to make people sign up for things. It's just more fun that way. But I don't usually email them either. But we do that, and we're basically building out for B2B businesses, upload your lead list, instantly verify which emails have valid, stop wasting time on this is a level of validation, right? Like there's no question this is a level of validation. We've now used your fonts. Now we've got that, right? We've got to get to let's go to the last part here. So we got the progress indicator. We've added all of this. We got two streams going right now, right? Like we got basically two software engineers building the software right now, right? There's not just one, like there's two. So there's one doing this. Now, if I had 6 windows open, then I'd be building an entire SaaS company, right? Like you could build, you could just keep building. You don't even, so like, look how cool that is, right? Doesn't that look cool? Boom. So it's fixing that other problem right now, but that we had, but that's what it's doing right now. And then here, okay, so we're getting close to the end here because we're going to basically try to block. It's just cleaning up the code. It's still going, right? Like this is not. I don't know if anybody has any questions. Feel free to ask them. I haven't been really paying attention that much, right?
Yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to drop in the chat, and because of time, we might have you answered offline. But I do have a question for you, actually.
Yeah.
So, of course, most of the attendees in this course are not software engineers, right? And a lot of course, I would like to start like a lead gen company and things like that too. And how would you, I guess, like distinguish like what would be like a time waster, or like is it like a tool out there that we can just plug it in or use, or what kind of area should we vibe code, or do you have anything for that?
Everybody has to start somewhere. Everybody, Michael Jordan started dribbling a basketball in some court, right? You got to do something. And I also say there's levels. Like, so what I would say the level 1, if I had to start somewhere right now, I'd probably start in V0. that would be so the starting point I think would be V0. I just it feels a lot more real than like I've used a lot of Lovable, Bolt, Replit. There's 20, 30 of them, but the V0 one just feels a lot cleaner. It feels more like the code is very well designed and you could really bank on, you know what I mean? Like you could really bank on it, right? So, um, that's what I would say is I would look at the code. I would definitely look at V0, right? Because I think what you're going to find is here, I'm just trying to find one that has an email addresses. This one doesn't. Okay. This one does. But yeah, so I don't know. Have you tried any of the Lovable or any of the different V0 or anything like that?
Lovable, yeah. I think that's the one that we try.
Okay. Yeah, Lovable's great. I mean, I would say Lovable and V0. So we're already yeah, so like those are the ones that I would use, but I think every agency could really benefit from this. Here's what it is everyone's like, oh, you can just go build it, but you can also this might only take you like if you can get an MVP going and then you just hand it off to the developer the rest of the 20%, you're in a different game, right? So like we're doing this. This is like I matched his like brand. Look how cool that looks. Doesn't that look cool? I mean, you guys saw me. I didn't do anything. Like there was no extra code brought in. I didn't do anything here, right? And all like the like you can have it by emails, you can have it by domain. Like it's all here. Here's the domains. It looks like the emails is still building, but if you want to say which ones don't have an MX record, these ones, so you would never want to email these ones. This is the first step in email validation, right? So, we're doing that. Now, if you're talking about ICP, you would just take your ICP and throw that through here and you'd be golden, right? So now you've got ICP. The emails are showing up, right? So, this one I would say, this is like a good way to do it. So this is a lead list. This, by the way, this was a 3,500 email lead list, right? So this says 3,500. That's a pretty big, like that's a pretty good size, like CSV to process yourself without, like I didn't even this. And by the way, this puts it in a back end right here, right? So, the back end is here. You didn't even see me set up the schema. You didn't see me do anything. The API, not like I was built. It's code though. It's not like fake here, right? Like this is a real lead magnet that you could use. Now, the finishing touch on the lead magnet is once this is done, we're going to then put the like convert. So this is where a lot of developers fail. This is the part usually sales and marketing people are better at. The next part that I'm going to show you I'm going to basically just show you like, how do you get this to become a lead magnet? Now, you have to think about like human psychology, right? So if I go to this website here and I'm like, wow, I kind of want that information, right? Right. So what people don't love is, I'll even show my own website, right? They don't like, nobody wants to start a free trial. Boom. They don't want that. Like they want, like, what do they want? They want to get something for free. Everybody wants something for free, whatever. They want to try it, just like anything in life. So the way that you could easily, by the way, I could paywall this and I bet people would pay for it. Like at this point, like it's that, I know that sounds weird, but like it's true. But I think the biggest part of this is like being able to, you could take this and how would you step them through the process? So what's really cool is you have to think about the moment that we're in right here. I would totally let them see this, right? Okay, I've just done it now. Boom. So, right. So we just built, like, unfortunately, this is getting closer to lead magic here, but that's okay. I'm fine with it. But there's some benefit here. And then, you're seeing what I see here. This was, by the way, this is 10,000 emails we just scanned, 31, like we just did that. I didn't even type. I was talking to you guys the whole time and I didn't even type in on that. Right. So, that is what it is. But let's talk about where you would put the wall. So you'd want to use an auth wall, right? Or like an email capture, right? So then you would say, for marketing purposes, create a schema to capture lead lists the lead list, the person's email address in the product as it's scanning the file. Add a schema, check it with P.
Hey Jesse, would hate to cut you off, but could this maybe be like the last comment because we do gotta move on with the top 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go for it. Let's do the top 10. Anyways, I'll give you this, and then let me know if you guys have any questions, and we'll get this back.
Yeah, but this is really cool. Like you can honestly like change all the UI and all the back end, everything up front. Like I know you're like super passionate, but I think you added like 3 different features in one setting, and it's just kind of like and it's talking to us too. So this is probably why you.
I started somewhere too, so it's all good. You'll get there.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I will stop sharing here and then close the gate. Perfect.